Hi everyone. So this is going to be a video really directed at the female-bodied viewers. So, I mean, if you're male-bodied or identify as a male, you can still watch it. It's pretty helpful for any female-bodied people that you know. So this is going to be a review on a feminine hygiene product, and it is the Diva Cup, which is a menstrual cup, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information on it, some background, and my personal experience with it. So before I start talking about the menstrual cup, I just want to suggest a book, and it's called Flow, The Cultural Story of Menstruation, and it's very entertaining. It has a history of menstrual products, and it has the most ridiculous tampon and pad ads ever. It's really a good book. But let's move on to talking about the menstrual cup itself. So the menstrual cup isn't really a new product. It was created in the 1930s, but because tampons and pads became disposable and more readily available, the menstrual cup lost a lot of its appeal because women had to deal with dumping out their menses. So I think that the menstrual cup is a good replacement for pads and tampons for 4 reasons. The first is that this costs $40 for one, and you can use it for, I think, up to 5 years, but it varies. And it's suggested that you replace it once a year. And a box of tampons, let's say, is $5, which is probably aiming low. Times 12 times a year, you're saving a lot of money using a menstrual cup, even if you replace it every year. The second reason, this is made out of silicone. 1 per year. 7 billion tampons are thrown into dumps in North America every year, and 12 billion pads. So if you're concerned about the environment, probably a good idea to invest in this. Third reason, this can be left in all day. You can put it in the morning, you can take it out at night. Of course, depending on your flow. So it's suggested on the Diva Cup website that you place this every year, but there's other menstrual cups that you can use for 5 years, I think. But as a general rule, it is suggested that you dispose of these every year. So I'm going to show you how to use your Diva Cup. So this is it. It's very flexible. You can move it around, and it's very flexible. So it's not going to hurt you when you insert it. So you fold it, then you fold it again, and then you would insert it. And then you release it, and then you would move it, and I kind of tug on mine and just make sure that all the air is released and that it looks just like this when it's inside, so that it doesn't leak. Because if it's like this, well, some blood's gonna get in through there. So we do not want that. I'm going to show you on the little, I don't know if this is very helpful, but you would fold it, then put it inside, so it's not going to make that noise, so that it's next to your cervix. This isn't very accurate, by the way. So that it sits next to your cervix, and the blood drips directly into the menstrual cup. When you take it out, you have to be very careful. I suggest that before you actually start your period, that you try this to become comfortable with putting it in and taking it out as carefully as you can. I got used to this pretty quickly, but then again, I had tried it when I wasn't on my period. So when I did use it, when my flow had started, everything went perfectly fine. So when it's inside, you have to, you don't have to, but it's very, very helpful when you bear down with your muscles, and it kind of pushes the menstrual cup forward so that it's easier for you to grab it and get a better grip on it than if you would when your body's just relaxed and you try and pull it out like that. You might struggle a little bit and tip it over and leak. So just trying to make it easier for you guys. So you would take it out. I cut off all the tail on mine It usually comes with a little stem on it. It's pretty long. I found it to be uncomfortable and it really didn't work for my body. It kind of dug into me when I walked, so I decided to cut it off. Um, it's for easier access to it when you are going to pull it out, but I don't find that I struggle with that. So that just worked for me. If it doesn't work for you, don't cut it off, but if you're bothered at some point, you can always trim it. That's why it comes out so long. It was like this much longer, so you could just trim it. And this can't get lost up inside your body. It's very, very large. Your cervix is very, very small. If you've ever seen your cervix, you know that it's a very small space. This could never get lost in there, so don't be afraid of losing this in there. So when you take it out, you should be sitting when you insert it, and when you pull it out, I think it's easiest if you do it over the toilet or in the shower where you're most comfortable. It won't leak for any reason. So my method is to bear down with my muscles and then pinch it as high as I can. My flows aren't very heavy, so I can kind of afford to do this without liquid, you know, coming over the top. So pulling, squeezing, and then pulling down, just like this, so that nothing falls. So some questions you might have: does it leak? It has never leaked for me. I was afraid that it would, and I used to wear pads, but I soon found that it was pointless. If properly placed, it most likely will not leak. I don't want to say I'm 100% sure because you never know. Is it messy? If properly placed and properly removed, no, it doesn't have to be messy. You could just, when you take it out, just put it in the toilet, flush it down, then go rinse it off with some water and you're good. So it does not have to be messy. If you're using a public restroom, I suggest you take a water bottle with you. It's really not as complicated as it sounds. I know that those are some concerns of people that I've talked to about the menstrual cup. They're like, oh, well, what if you're in a public restroom and you really have to change it? Well, you could just take a water bottle with you and over the toilet dump it out and rinse it and wash your hands while you're doing this. Or if you're if you're in a bathroom that has a lot of stalls. If you're in a single person restroom, then you could just do your thing and no one will notice. How to clean it? It suggested that you boil this for 5 to 10 minutes. And if it burns or anything, replace it. Pretty much if anything slightly unhygienic happens to it, replace it. You don't want to get an infection or hurt yourself in any way. Cool. I actually find this a lot more comfortable than tampons because it's a lot less, I think, abrasive because it isn't scratchy cotton. It's very smooth. I think with tampons you could, if you insert it a certain way, then it's like ruined. You have to start all over, and it's a really strain on your vagina. So you want to be as gentle as you can. Plus, there is no risk of toxic shock syndrome. So that's really great. That risk comes with tampons because it absorbs not only your flow but all the moisture. And if your blood becomes toxic, the tampon is very, very close to your cervix. And if your blood becomes toxic, it can go up higher into your uterus. So that is not good. Your blood never touches anywhere near your cervix because here's your cervix and the blood is dripping all the way down here. It's not like a tampon where, pretend this is a tampon. Here's the tampon and it's collecting the flow near the cervix and absorbing it there. So that is no good. That is why I love these. They're affordable compared to how much you're going to be spending on tampons and pads. And you can wear them all day. Let's see, on my heaviest days, which is the first, maybe the second, I have to empty this out maybe twice, but that really depends on each month. But usually I put it in the morning, take it out at night. I used to be really paranoid and I would take it out every time that I would go to use the restroom, and I found that that was really not necessary. It holds a lot of fluid, and unless you have very heavy flows, you shouldn't be concerned about it spilling or having to change it often. So I would pretty much recommend this to any female-bodied person. If you feel comfortable with inserting something inside your body. So if you're not comfortable with tampons, you probably won't be comfortable with this. And even more so with this because you can obviously see your flow. It's not being absorbed into a piece of cotton so that you can take it out, dispose of it. Your flow goes in here and you have to dump it out and then clean this out. So if you're not comfortable with blood, if you're not comfortable with inserting something in your body, then probably not for you. But if you're comfortable with that, great. If you want to go green, great. They are $40. There are some more expensive ones, some less expensive ones. There's the Moon Cup, the Keeper, so you guys can check those out. I've only had experience with the Diva Cup. Is it comfortable? Yes, if you insert it correctly. If not, it's gonna bug you, especially if you have the little tag on it still. So that might bother you when you're walking, but again, try it out a few days earlier. It's not suggested that you use this during any other time besides your period. You should probably not use it to catch anything else that's coming out of your body. So you trim the end according to your needs. Also, to clean this, I might have spoken about this earlier, but to clean it, you boil it in water for about 5 to 10 minutes. Don't use anything else because it might stick onto the silicone and then you put it inside your body, and that is not good. So boil it in hot water, 5 to 10 minutes, that's it. So you might be asking yourself whether you can have sex while this is in your body, and the answer would be no. You can do a lot of things while on your period, but you cannot have penetrative sex when this is in your body. If you really do like menstrual cups and you want to have sexual intercourse, penetrative intercourse, there's always the soft cup, which is a lot different than most menstrual cups. But that's also an option. Also, this can be worn if you have an IUD. Some menstrual cups you can't actually use when you have an intrauterine device in you. So one more thing, there are 2 sizes available. There is size 1 or size A. I'm not sure what the Diva Cup uses, but size 1 or A, I'll put a little annotation telling you which letter or number it is for people who have not given birth. So I think it's number 1 because there is a little number 1 right there. So I'm assuming that's it, and that is for people who have not given birth. And there is size 2 or B, that is for people who have given birth. So homework. I've actually had a few conversations with some people, and they've seemed really hesitant about trying the Diva Cup, and this is the little pouch that it comes with. Oh, and you're not supposed to put it in any plastic bags for some reason, but it says bacteria thrives in moisture, and if this is stored in a Ziploc type bag, it can't completely dry, and then there's bacteria in your menstrual cup. So don't store it in a Ziploc bag. Alright, so on with the homework. So would you try this? Yes or no? Why wouldn't you? Why would you? So comment below, and I'll see you guys next time.